Welcome to another palm reading example, 3 lines that shape your life. We're talking about the head, heart, and fate line in an example reading. When we look at this hand, one feature that immediately stands out is the long headline that stretches across the palm. It reaches towards the top of the Mount of Moon. So this line here, sorry, my drawing is a little bit dodgy. And the Mount of Moon area is here. So the headline doesn't always reach that far, but in this case, it speaks about the person's way of thinking, their mental landscape, so to speak. So this long headline suggests the person has deep intellectual capacity. Someone who thinks thoroughly, they absorb ideas like a sponge. They enjoy exploring a wide spectrum of topics and hobbies and just things to do. Often they are analytical. They love learning, like a creativity in their problem solving, because they have this love of detail. So they are curious by nature. They might have many interests from science to art, psychology, philosophy. So their ability to think abstractly and imagine possibilities beyond the obvious makes them not just smart, but intuitively brilliant. So another feature that shows a mentally active type is the well-developed mounts under the fingers. So that kind of adds to this meaning with this long headline. So you can get somebody that will have this long headline, but without the other qualities to sort of add to it, then we can't so confidently call that an intelligent sign. But I think in this case it does. So the mentally active areas, for example, here on the Mount of Mercury, that's the intellectual capacity. So it is well developed in communication. The Apollo area, this is well developed, and that is about self-expression, the sense of style, their warmth and their happiness. And Jupiter is the largest here of all. It's quite a good mount, and that represents pride, ambition, self-esteem, and the ego. But not only ego, but the confidence. So that goes along with this long headline quite well. The line is, I will mark the lifeline here, even though we're not talking about that today. This headline is separated from the lifeline. You can see there's a gap here, and often they are joined together at the start here. So in this case, they're not joined, and because of that gap, it gives a great independence. Somebody who became independent early in their life. They probably didn't ever really have to rely on their family. So I'll bring up the next slide. It's the same picture, but just so I get rid of the drawing on there, because we are now putting our attention to the heart line. In this case, this long, graceful, gently curving toward the space between the index and middle fingers. This arc tells about the emotional richness, possibly a deeply intuitive nature. But a curved heart line like this suggests someone who values connection and empathy because it matches the headline that supports it. She likely feels things deeply, not just her emotion, but others' emotion. It is supposedly a hallmark of nurturing and socially aware person who leads with her heart as well as logic. So it does need this matching headline though. If this headline was weak, then this heart line is like a passion line. It is just passion without logic. But this is nicely balanced because both lines are long. So in general, someone with this kind of a heart line, they know what they want. They usually know what they want and they know how to get it. In relationships, they may be expressive, may be affectionate, and drawn to beauty in so many forms, whether it's art or nature or meaningful conversation. Their emotional intelligence is about the ability to see what's unspoken, to respond with kindness and create harmony around them. Let's bring up the next picture. I'm going to talk about the fate line. So this is another slightly unusual start to the fate line, which normally begins from the bottom or somewhere around the middle of the palm. But in this case, it begins from the Mount of Moon. So Mount of Moon, like I showed before, this fleshy area of the palm, that's often linked to intuition, creativity, external influences, even can be linked to the mother or nurturing. So here's what this fate line is doing. It is rising, there's a little break there, but it is rising from the moon all the way up. I'm not very good at this drawing, am I? Okay, so it rises up towards the Mount of Saturn. The general meaning is that it's depicting external support. Suggests that the person's destiny or fate is shaped by others, especially by women or foreigners or influential friends. In creative professions, it might be associated with careers in the service industry, travel, spirituality, psychology, any field that requires strong interpersonal skills. They may rely heavily on gut feelings and emotional intelligence when making decisions because of that moon area. Because it is a fate line, we often think of it as a career line. So career implications are potentially unconventional success. They might find success through non-traditional routes such as freelancing, artistic pursuits, or healing professions. And if it's clear and merges with the normal area of the fate line, it can indicate positive influences from other people. If it's an extra line and disrupts the fate line, it may suggest challenges or interferences. But in this case, it is just a line on its own. And generally, it does represent emotional depth because of that moon. And so we have a picture here of someone who is quite passionate with their long heart line. They are a lover of many interests with this long headline. They potentially in tune to their feelings with this fate line. And overall, with these well-developed mounts, there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of mental energy and potentially physical energy as well. To top it off, I will bring you up one more slide just quickly. To go with this personality of passion, intelligence, and potentially nurturing, there is the fingerprint that goes along with this, and looks like it's called a tented arch, and it looks like it has this little cross section in the middle, and then like a bump, like a little mountain, like a tent. That's why they call it tented art, because it sort of resembles a tent. So these types with these prints, this print represents a passionate, competitive, enthusiastic, energetic person. And it depends on what type of hand it is, but say if it's with a fire type hand and other agreeing qualities, it depicts hyperactivity, so very hyper active person. That I currently have a mini fingerprints ebook, if you're interested, available on my website, destinypalmistry.com. And I am working on a complete new book featuring the fingerprints and hope to have it out by next year. So stay tuned to that. And I look forward to doing more of these example readings just for you. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.